Welcome back. Honestman, here to kill a dragon in Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. Before we do, one last check on equipment. As I mentioned last episode, killing the dragon is a golden opportunity, 100% chance to get Dragon Forged level gear for everything you have equipped. So you want to try to equip things that are going to provide long-term value for you, and you also want to be careful about optimizing for enhancement levels. And what I mean by that is the Malorian plate here, for example. My main pawn has a level 2 Malorian plate. Mary has a level 0 Malorian plate. Much better to keep the level 0 on her so that it jumps all the way to Dragonforged. If these were switched around, right, it's kind of a waste, right? Because then we'd have one that's Dragonforged and one that's level 0 instead of one that's Dragonforged and one that's level 2. And for the same reason, I switched around the clothing here. I gave my main pawn the level 3 Gambeson, and I switched over the level 1 Dragon Leather Vest to Mary. So trying to get lower level things onto my main, and the Immortal Helmet as well. You know, this is level 0, this is level 1, so I'm going to give Mary the level 0. With that being the strategy, I will quickly review my gear, and then we'll get into the fight. And starting with my weapon, I have a Bloody Thistle, which is a bitter black weapon. For the headgear, I'm going to use the Dragon Band through the cutscenes, but switch to the Immortal's Helm before all is said and done. And that is a bitter black armor. Dragon Leather Vest we just picked up from the Dragon Forged last episode. And again, I think it's one of the best pieces of clothing in the game. Even better, I would argue, than the patterned Gambeson here. This has the best defense of any piece of clothing in the game, period. But I don't think that's a big enough difference. At max level, the Dragon Leather Vest has 2% better piercing resistance. So I think that's better than a single-digit difference in defense. I would much rather have an additional 2% of piercing resistance. The Gambeson has better stagger and knockdown resistance, so there is that, but it's not huge numbers anyway, and I just don't think it offsets the better pierce resist. So for that reason, I favor the Dragon Leather Vest. Ultimately, I think both of them play second fiddle to a piece of clothing we don't have just yet, but we'll be getting very soon. And then for chest armor, we have the aforementioned Malorian plate. For the arms, we have Crested Arm Guards, which is a bitter black armor. I don't think you can really go wrong here. Ultimately, I went Crested Arm Guards because it has better vocation diversity, but the Blessed Sleeves are also an extremely strong choice, which is also bitter black armor. But as I said, ultimately I favored the Crested Arm Guards because I can use that on a Strider. For legs, I have Twisted Leathers and Assault Boots. Assault Boots are bitter black. And for the cloak, I picked up this Beastly Mantle from the Black Cat. I really like this because it has a variety of elemental defenses, and its core stats are pretty decent as well. And it also has piercing and striking resistance, which not all cloaks do. Ultimately, I want this on my pawn. It's much easier for your main character to dodge spells than for your main pawn. On the other hand, however, your pawns don't take as much damage as you do, so it's a little bit of a trade-off, but nevertheless, that's the play here. My plan is to get this to Dragonforge and then give it to Honestman. That's going to be true for most of my equipment, actually. And then for him, I have the Alchemical Cloak, which I'll switch back to Mary, although looking to upgrade this as soon as I can. So there we go. Enough with the chit-chat. Let's get after this dragon.
What is your purpose here, Arisen? If you sought to live, you had naught but run and hide yourself away. But then, tell me, child of man, what does it mean to live in truth? To wage war against the passing of days, to pray to the rise from stone and spawn new life in turn. Mankind has done this, yes, and more. But is the tapestry you weave truly of your own design?
We eat when hungry, and we sleep when tired of eating. We kill them as we want them dead.
Their kind is easy to fathom. They go on living from simple fear of death. But not mankind. Some welcome the end with arms outstretched, while others come to face death incarnate, arms in hand. I ask again, what is your purpose here, Arisen? One path to your survival lies in my defeat. Still my heart, and you stay the coming end. Another path before you is to offer up that which you hold most dear. Abandon all delusions of control. For the price of a single life, I shall leave this land in peace. As my vanquisher, the duchy would bow to you. Wealth and power are sweet anodyne for heartache. You'll not gainsay my terms are more than generous. If it matters aught, the man who rules this land now won that honor through just such a bargain. The decision is yours, Arisen. Now, choose.
I've learned what to do in this quest.
You would let them die?
I would like to kill both the dragon and the Duchess. Unfortunately, that's not an option. I hate that the Duchess ends up being sort of the default option here.
Oh, I called you here to me.
I should have given the ring to Reynard or someone. That would have been smarter. But nevertheless, let's get after it.
You would face me then. Ah, 'tis a fool's choice, Arisen.
I guess I should also mention here that if you do run away, there's an achievement in it for you. That'll be true for a lot of the end game and post game sort of choices like this. If you sort of do the anti-option, there's often an achievement. But that's not what we're after here. I'm just looking to get the kill.
But better fool than craven. I knew your mind ere you came. Still, I ask this final time. Arisen, will you stand and fight? Your choice is made, Arisen. As you have willed it, so shall it be.
Let's away for now. This way.
And they make you immediately run away.
Come, run!
Fight it here!
We'll strike back here! The heart of it! Attack the heart! Strike at the heart!
Fire breath.
Ranged characters have an easier time here to use cover and back. For melee, you want to stay super close. If that fire breath hits you, it's basically one-shot kill. So don't do that. Don't get hit by that. Ooh, yeah, see, that almost killed me. That almost murdered me. We'll just take some King Warish here. Get back on my feet.
Find those trolls!
That's why fire resistance is so important. And once he gets out, you're trying to target the sternum. Just right in the middle of his chest is what we're after. If he'd hold still a little.
This battle is won, waged of your own free.
The heart! Attack the heart!
Find those wing beats!
How do we fight such a thing? Have we the means to shoot it down? 'Tis aloft!
If you lack the strength to stay my fire, to stay the fated ruin,
After he flies
all
off,
shall scatter as ash.
he talks a lot. Don't miss the molten boots. It's the one treasure in this space. It's a big space, but that's the only chest. And then there's going to be some potions here somewhere on the steps. Go. Top of the steps, right hand side. Ring of Argent. So they try to do this sort of cinematic thing here, which I think they succeed at. But the point I would stress is that you absolutely can die. You want to avoid his fire running through here. Okay, and they just pulled a flame skirt out of this chest.
Place arisen.
And another treasure here.
Frailty of the works of man.
Dragonhide bracers. And a lot of this stuff
This home
I personally am not even going to use,
firm.
but it may be upgrades depending on your build.
'Twas the foolish decision of a man too weak that brought it down.
Retreat to that tower. You can strike it from the rooftop.
For the next tower, there's a cheeky little chest here on the side. Stalwart earring. And there's some minor loots that I might be missing here. But I will highlight the important stuff.
Fight! Cling to life!
Now we have to shoot him with a ballista, but don't miss these two chests. Champion bangles and a dragon band, which we already have one, but that's fine. Wow. Yeah, I think tenacity might have saved me there. So yeah, the threat is real. I totally missed him, but I'll take it.
Return to the earth.
So, fortunately, they're not jerks, and they create a save point here for us. which is good because I absolutely hate this part. You just climb extremely slowly all the way up to his torso. And while you do, there's several points where you have to waggle the left stick, which is the worst part of this game.
Your life, your very heart rests here within me.
And I'm gonna do it again. Yeah, it takes too long. This is so slow. You have to get all the way to that glowing part.
The hour for turning back is past. The world will have its answer. You or me. Death or life beyond. If you would give aught, give your
There's a lot of loot piles in this area, but nothing crazy good. Oh, that's perfect. If he grabs someone, that means he's gonna hold relatively still for a bit,
teeth of steel, your blood
which means you can tee off on the heart.
show me your power, Arisen. Prove yourself worthy of what lies beyond my corpse.
How do we fight it if
Show that you possess the strength to still my heart, the will to do it, the soul. Slay me, and with me death itself, stay the fires of destruction. This battle you have begun sits at the very heart of all creation. Have you come so
There are
far to be
ballista
stricken with
spread
cowardice?
around this area, but for this
You have
section,
chosen your path.
you have to get one close to him. Otherwise, it's not going to have the
There is
range.
naught beyond this moment for those who will not give themselves whole to their
This one should
cause.
work.
Hand me the keys. Down.
And he's going to fly around a little bit. Should level off here.
Is the will of the master that shapes the soulless mind?
You can't dilly-dally too long on the ballista, or he will nuke you. So better to close the distance.
Come, Arisen. If you are truly awakened into the world, you shall weather the fires of perdition unstunned. Surpass me, if you would truly be the one to take up the endless journey.
Now, Master. Aim very hard.
Yeah, when you see that, you've got to get out of the way. Or that will kill you. Probably.
Yes, I remember this sensation, this This battle is mine, just as it is yours. It is one I began long ago.
Attack when it rings.
generally underneath him is the safest place to be.
Stubborn child. Whatever meaning life holds, it makes men deaf to all reason. Heed me well, Arisen. In my death, you've won a future for this world. But what that future spells for you, for all men, is a truth you'll find staring back from this world's utmost depth. Arisen, you have earned back what is yours. Your life belongs now to no other. You've won it by rights. It is yours to use or cast away as you see fit. Remember that.
Ah, yes. Abyssinal outfit. We get that for killing the dragon on hard mode.
Some need of me?
And very quickly we will see all of our dragon forged gear popping up. I forgot to change my headpiece, but that's okay. There's a hard save I can go back to if I want. The other important thing to understand and note is that whatever weapon you are wielding, you will receive a stronger version. So in our case, we were using a warrior's weapon, a two-handed weapon. So we receive Dragon Repast, which is a large two-handed weapon. So this is kind of perfect, right? So what we'll do is we'll keep the Bloody Thistle, now Dragon Forged, on Mary, and we'll give this one to Honestman. It's got 857, which is a huge upgrade over the level 2 Triple Tooth.
Well, hello.
Checking out the inn, you will notice more quests on the notice board. And this will be a little bit of a theme. You'll definitely want to check the various notice boards that you have access to. They will have new stuff. And this will help guide you a little bit through this post-game. This one, for example, defeat the Gore Chimera in West Granis. And then we have a escort quest for Fornival here to Bloodwater Beach, which isn't a location we visited in this playthrough, but that's not too hard to get to. So I'm going to accept these first two. And our friend here,
Enough idle chatter.
Madeline.
To business. You'll find naught but
All the vendors in the post game will have enhanced inventories. One thing I'll highlight in particular is the Chilling Razors, which is an ice elemental dagger for striders, assassins, etc. The armor that popped up there for defeating the dragon on hard mode is this piece of clothing right here. I think this is the best clothing in the game. It has fire and dark resistance, which I think is better than the fire and holy from the pattern Gambeson. And it has really strong piercing and striking resist as well as a high defense. It's not the highest, but it's good. So all around, I think this is the best. So very happy to have one, and we'll be looking forward to getting another. The other item to highlight here is the God's Bane. This is a dagger of sorts that goes into your tools, and what you can do is use this to murder yourself, which might sound like a strange thing to do, but it makes it way faster if you're trying to reload for a random chest, for example. Rather than backing all the way out and all the way back in, you just God's Bane yourself, you'll die, it'll bring up the retry screen, and you can reload much more efficiently. So with the basics out of the way, our first stop here is Gran Soren. Yeah, we can take a quick peek here of the devastation in Gran Soren. When you reach the castle, you'll want to meet with the Duke in his solar on the second floor.
You met with the dragon. And don't think for a minute I don't know what you did then. I of all men. No human hands could fell that beast. No. You took the dragon's bargain. You conspired with it to wither me and usurp my seat as Duke. But you'll not be quit of me so easily!
Yeah, I will.
What? Your Grace? What devilry is at work here? Devilry indeed. And high treason. This brigand has joined a covenant with the dragon and struck me with a curse. She would tell you the beast is dead. Lies! She has become its minion, spreading evil upon this land as upon its ruler. Just look upon the hellish moor that gapes where once our city stood, and tell me this is not the work of the dragon's dark magic. Seize this traitor at once!
And now we run.
Is a truth you'll find staring back from this world's utmost depths.
So the most important part here is don't panic. There's no danger. If you fall long enough and you pass all of the ledges that you could grab onto, it's just going to cycle back around. And we fall once again. If you hit the grab button near one of the alcoves, you will hook on and can explore whatever's there.
If you would heed my call, prove now your worth. Show that you've the strength to break the yoke that binds you.
I would ask aught of you, Arisen. Please, take this. My mistress gathered their like as she sought her way through the depths. She died as she was done. If you would take up her task, pray bring them here to me. I trust that you will see my mistress' will done.
And that brings us to the next main quest, which is Fathom Deep, where you need to gather 20 wake stones. This area, the Everfall, is replete with wake stones. It shouldn't be terribly difficult to collect them. There's some powerful enemies to face. Well, there's one powerful enemy to face. The others aren't too bad. It's a good place to get some experience, get a little bit of treasure. There's some good loot to be had, but the problem is that the drop rates are extremely low, 2% in most cases. So quite frankly, I would not recommend any time wasted here trying to get particular treasures. Bitter Black Isle is way better for that. Navigating this area can be confusing, so I would recommend keeping track of which caves you've been in so you don't miss any. There's an array of new merchants, I believe 3 total. Our first, Akeem here, is right up top, obviously. He's primarily dealing in items. He doesn't have any, well, he has a little bit, just golden wristbands right now. At least one of the 2 additional merchants that you can find in the Everfall will have weapons and armor. If we move up here, we discover that we are in the basement of the Pawns Guild. That saves us a little time because we definitely want to get to the notice board. So again, helping to guide you through the new encounters in the post-game here. There's a cockatrice in Soulflare Canyon. More importantly, however, is Keepers of the Ancient Flame. The reward here is the Asura armor. The Asura armor increases discipline. And this is very easy to get. You have to defeat 7 Geosaurians. And you'll notice it says Tainted Mountain as one of the regions. If you head back to the area where you fought the dragon, you should find plenty of Geosaurians to fulfill that quest and get that armor. You won't be able to get all the way to where you fought the dragon. You'll hit a dead end at a certain point, but there will be 2 chests there that have pretty good loot. Definitely check out the loot tables for those 2. But as I said earlier, I wouldn't mess around with this stuff in the Everfall. It's just the odds are too low. But in any case, once you have the Asura armor, you may discover that it's really bad. It's not the worst, but it's not a good armor. But it does increase your discipline. Whether or not you think that's necessary at this point is an open question after having gone through the game with the Ring of Perseverance. I kind of feel like I have more discipline than I'll ever need. So I don't think you necessarily need the Asura armor. Just be aware of it. It's super easy to get, and it stacks with the ring. And certainly if we were to obtain another Ring of Perseverance, that would all stack as well. Another important note is that the alehouse is mostly intact, including the notice board. But our buddy Mount Bonk is here too. So even though the Black Cat shop has been thoroughly obliterated, he's still at our services if we need another forgery. Which we will, because we are going to be keeping him very busy. If you remember, the Blessed Flower doubles XP gain. And this is the point in the game, if not sooner, where I would recommend having this active at all times. So we're going to want to keep Mountain Bonk busy creating copies. And also keep in mind, once again, that these do expire after 24 game hours. I think that covers the basics. My goal for this playthrough was primarily to document all of the side quests, especially for folks trying to get the Hero achievement, which requires completion of all main quests and sub-quests. Certainly that doesn't include all of the notice board quests. Those aren't side quests per se. I've documented all of the side quests here, so if you've been following along, you should be right on track. Nothing from this point forward is missable. You just have to continue to knock out the main quests until you reach the ultimate conclusion. All of this is to say, I'm not planning on continuing to drive through the main quests in this series. I'll leave that to the player. The best guidance that I can give for this phase of the game is kill all of the non-dragons in the overworld, then clear out the Everfall, then kill all of the dragons in the overworld. Specifically, there's a drake, a worm, and a wyvern. Multiple, actually. And they're spread around. You can find them. And those are going to be opportunities to get Dragon Forged equipment. It's very low percentage compared to, obviously, the dragon we just killed, which was 100%. But it's also influenced by the enhancement level of the item in question. So if you can try to level up your gear, killing those dragons will hopefully get you some more Dragon Forged gear. And then I would say after that, then it's time to make a more serious push into Bitterblack Isle. Or at least that's my plan. In any case, that'll do it for now. Thank you all so much. I hope you enjoyed the journey, at least to this point. Please like and subscribe. This has been Honestman and Mary Abernathy, and we will see you next time.